This is for the treatment of a midshaft fractured femur using a Hare Traction splint. This is not for a hip or a crushed femur. The first provider will stabilize the injured extremity. Stabilization should be above and below the fracture site. If it has not already been done, the injury should be exposed, and then the second provider will assess circulation, motor, and sensory. So in measuring the splint, the ischial pad will be the top of the patient's iliac crest, and the bottom of the splint, the bend, will be at the bottom of the natural heel. Assure that the locking collars are relocked. And then the strap should be adjusted. The top strap, which is the ischial strap, should go all the way to the top of the ischial pad. The bottom strap will go over top of the locking collars. Even though it does not seem that it looks correct, once the splint is correctly placed underneath of the patient, your straps will be where they need to be. Each strap should be opened up with the Velcro secured underneath of the splint so it is ready for the placement of the patient's leg. The strap that will secure the ankle hitch that has the S-hook should be fully extended. Some of these traction splints have a pin release, some have a push button release. The next step will be to apply the ankle hitch to the patient. The ankle hitch can be dropped over top of the patient's foot, the tail slid underneath of the patient's ankle, assuring that the hitch is extremely secure and snug around the patient's ankle. The bottom strap should come underneath of the patient's foot. And then should be brought snug to the bottom of the foot. The ring should be on the bottom of the foot, in the center of the foot. You will notice at this point, stabilization only has been done. Once a provider takes traction, they must maintain that position. You want to make sure everything is in place and ready to apply the traction splint before your partner takes traction. At this point, we are ready to take traction and slide the splint underneath of the patient. When taking traction, the provider will slide their hands down so that the upper hand is under the bend in the knee, just at the distal end of the femur. The lower hand comes across the leg and is around the ankle. You will notice that the provider's upper knee is down and should be fairly close to the patient's knee. The lower knee, the knee toward the foot, is up. Yep. They will pull, lift, bend at the knee, and lean to maintain that traction. You will notice that the bend of the knee allows the provider to get the splint up underneath of the patient fairly easily. The first strap that will be secured is the ischial strap. You will also hear this strap referred to as the pubic strap. When tightening this strap, it should be tightened with 2 fingers underneath to assure that the strap is not too tight. You want to make sure that you have as much Velcro to Velcro contact as possible. Next, the ankle hitch will be applied. So the provider will come down. You will notice that the stand is down, so the leg stand will be raised up at this point. Again, with some splints, you will have a push button, others you will have a ring. The ankle hitch, or the ankle strap, will come over top of the mechanism, hooking into the ring, and at this point, the provider will begin to turn the wheel to take over the traction on the patient's leg. They should tighten until the provider feels them taking over the traction or until the patient feels relief. At this point, once the ankle hitch has been applied, you will need to reassess the ischial strap. Secure your other 4 straps. You should start at the bottom with the strap that goes over the ankle and secure the straps going up. The person maintaining stabilization will need to do so until the 4 straps are secured. Two straps should be below the knee, making sure that you're at least 2 finger widths below the knee and that you're not directly over top of the knee. When you get to the top of the femur, it is acceptable to leave 1 strap underneath to support the fracture site and secure the other strap. At this point, the provider is ready to reassess circulation, motor, and sensory.
Will your feet or toes, which someone touching? All right.